On this week's episode of Fish Addictions TV, we're headed down to South Dakota to fish with Jarrod Fredericks on a multi-species bite. Now, we wanted to show you guys exactly what South Dakota had to offer, so we jumped from lake to lake for 2 days just to show you guys what you could do in South Dakota. So join us because it's going to be an awesome time.
Addiction, the fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. An addiction is not desirable. It is something that overtakes your life. What happens when an addiction cannot be stopped? An addiction is stronger than any one drug with only one cure. The cure is not rehab. It is not medication. It is not a counselor. The only cure for us is the water beneath our feet, the rod in our hands, the anticipation of that next big bite, and the camaraderie we all share. This is Fish Addictions TV.
Fish Addictions TV is brought to you by Eskimo Ice Fishing Gear and the rest of our fine sponsors.
Are you ready for South Dakota? What's going?
Just doing one last final check before we head out. We haven't been to South Dakota for like 2 years, so I'm really pumped to get down there and fish with Jarrod Fredericks. What are we gonna chase? Crappies, walleye, and perch, I think, is what we're gonna go after. We're gonna focus on crappies and perch, and hopefully mix a few walleyes, and South Dakota's got it all, so head out. Now, we had an early cold streak kind of move through this entire area. Woo! This time of year, South Dakota really doesn't have as much ice as it does now. We're standing on 12 inches of ice, and we were able to get around with the Ranger and actually move around with ease as we went from lake to lake. Rolled in at 11, up at 4:30. That's what it's all about. Hopefully those other guys are up.
I've really been looking forward to the start of the Fish Addictions filming season. We had early ice this year. Wasn't able to make it on our first trip up to Wekusko Falls, but I jumped at the opportunity to come down to South Dakota with the group, get after some fish, and obviously try and capture some unique bites down here.
So Mike had called and said we were coming down to fish with Jarrod in the eastern part of South Dakota, and typically what I think of is we're chasing perch. We ended up getting into a really special bite in a place where you typically wouldn't find fish this time of year.
Walked out, getting things situated. All right, so what we're gonna be doing is basically fishing some trees that are right here, and it sounds like the tungstens and the plastics are working the best right now, so I'm gonna get rigged up quick, get ready to rock and roll, and see what we can do.
Well, this morning we're sitting here, it's a short window bite in a little tiny area. We're trying to chase for these monster crappies and some big walleyes. We're gonna give it about an hour and a half. Once the sun comes up, we give about a half hour after sun. If they're not here, we're just gonna go and find some walleyes or perch or something more active during the day, because this bite is just a short window, and you can only give it an hour and a half. Instead of wasting your whole day trying to get 2 fish, you might as well go for more active fish throughout the day.
I got this fish 2.5 feet off the bottom. Now he does. It's a nice crappie. Fishing about 7.5 foot flooded timber. This is an old flooded farmyard right here, and these are all just the trees off in the old farmyard. They're pretty big crappie. I mean, when you can barely fit them up a 6-inch hole. They're my favorite hole though. They get off in the hole, they can't flip back around.
So the key to these spikes, I know a lot of guys don't use them outside of the Dakotas. We use them a lot because they're a hardy bait that you can catch multiple fish with. But the key to it is when you get a spike in your hand, you'll see there's 2 beady eyes. Oh, I got a fish actually. There's a fish. Oh, that's a nice one. The key is there's 2 beady eyes on these spikes, and you want to press on that spike just a little bit to expose those eyes. And once you expose those eyes, you can poke. It's a stronger membrane there. You can poke it through there, and it won't blow up on you. And basically, that spike's going to last for 2-3 more fish. You know, hopefully you can get 3 more crappies like this before you have to rebait.
There we go. That was a nice fish. Seems like they're just kind of suspended around here. One of the things that we found is some of these holes, they're just loaded up with trees and you can't hardly see the fish. But you know, if you can find a clear hole, and these marks are coming in off the bottom and they're just racing up, so it's fun to find these fish when they're suspended in the trees. They're usually pretty active if you can get on them.
The all-new Eskimo pistol bit is the ultimate weapon to pair with your 1/2-inch high-torque cordless drill if you want to be mobile and destroy the ice in a hurry. At just under 4 pounds, nothing will slow you down, as this unit was engineered to cut fast, cut smooth, and maximize the battery life of your cordless drill. Best of all, it's lightweight, so it won't wear you out. If you've been considering a cordless drill auger bit, we challenge you to try the pistol and find something you don't like about it.
Catch Cover makes a full line of hard-nosed products for your fish house. Exceptionally durable. Original catch covers keep out snow, dirt, and road salt. Accessories like rod holders, rattle reels, slush buckets, new Moonglow hole sleeves, and much more. All made in Minnesota and backed by a no-question guarantee. Look for Catch Cover at fine retailers or see the entire product line at catchcover.com.
Manitoba, Canada's heart beats.
Nice tall crappie. Came in suspended right off the bottom. Been a little tricky getting a couple of them to bite, but it seems like once they commit, they've been hitting it pretty good. Just using a little tungsten and a plastic, been getting away with not having to use any live bait, so you can just get back down after them.
hooked up with another good one here. Ooh yeah, nice tall crappie. Ooh boy. Ooh, look at that. Check out the battle scar on that crappie. He's been through a fight or two. That is a nice fish. I was marking one on the bottom. I lifted up to try to get him to agitate him a little bit to come up and hit it, and all of a sudden this one comes in about 2.5, 3 feet off the bottom and just smacks it.
We're just out here, early morning crappie bite. It's a small window. Obviously, there's still a little bit of the window left.
Right.
Crappies have evaded me this morning. Walleye, that's about all I've got, but we're gonna head out of here and go catch perch. You guys, what we're really trying to do here is just give you a real view of what South Dakota has to offer. So crappies in the morning, we're gonna go head out and chase the perch now, and who knows where we'll end up in the evening bite.
Yeah, it's a multi-species deal. Let's go get some perch.
Let's get packed up. I know you don't want to leave, but we have to. We're gonna explore it all. Why stay on one lake all day? Bite's slowing down. This was an early morning bite. Crappie shallow. We just haven't got them figured out for the evening. Plus we want to catch some perch. South Dakota's known for big perch, so we're after them.
I wasn't really sure at the, coming down to South Dakota to fish what was going to be caught or what kind of fish that was down in the lakes down here, but I was actually pretty surprised. If you ever get a chance to come down here and fish in South Dakota, be prepared to go on a multi-species trip. Yeah, man. Good South Dakota walleye right there. Just jigging a whole minnow. He came screaming off the bottom and just hammered it.
I was on a new spot and I hooked into a big fish, and I was really hoping it was a nice big walleye. Well guys, I just hooked into a big fish. When you're fishing with light tackle, sometimes you just gotta play these fish out. You never know what you're gonna get. Not quite sure if this is a big walleye or a big pike, but hopefully we can battle it out with light line and take our time and be able to land this fish.
You might have to get the auger.
Alright, got it. Look at that freaking smallmouth.
That is a toad.
That was worth the fight right there. But to my surprise, it was a huge smallmouth. My biggest smallmouth through the ice. It was just about 20 inches, probably 4 to 5 pounds. It fought really hard. I was using a really light rod, so had to play it for a little bit and squeeze it through a 6-inch hole, but it was a heck of a fight.
on a tungsten.
Barely hooked in the nose, but she wasn't coming out. What a fish.
There you go, dude.
Thanks, bud. That is a toad.
Just proves you South Dakota's got it all.
Never know what you're gonna catch down here.
There's one, marking. There he is. Ooh, that was a very light bite. Oh, yeah, just a little perch. But hey, you gotta find a few of them to get some of those bigger ones. Little backstory on myself here. I grew up just to the east of here. Right now we're fishing in South Dakota, kind of the eastern glacial lakes area. It's kind of a tough deal right now. We're not dealing with a lot of schooled up perch. We're dealing with just kind of some roamers here and there. But this is kind of what I grew up on. You got to search, you got to put the time in, you got to drill holes. And that's, you know, you'll get the results, but this time of year, basically early in the season, you're gonna have to work for them, and you're gonna have to try to bop holes here and there, try to get some more of these active fish, but right now they're just really not schooled up.
Another smallie.
Another smallie on tungsten.
Do we high five yet?
Yeah. Can we do a slow-mo high five? I think that'd be awesome.
Stick with us for more Fish Addictions TV.
Before the spot, before the hole, before the bait. It starts with a passion, and that passion starts at Runnings. The best gear and supplies from the most trusted brands. When you get the strike, will you be ready? Runnings, your home, farm, and outdoor store.
Cole's Resort of Bemidji, Minnesota.
So when guys call and they want to rent one of my sleeper shacks, and they always ask, you know, are they going to catch 200 fish out of our sleeper shacks? What I tell them, if you want to catch 200 fish in South Dakota, you better drill 200 holes. That's the only way you're going to do it, because South Dakota fish move. There's no real structure out here. It's a flat basin lake, so the fish are constantly on the move, so you need to be constantly on the move.
Cool thing about what we're doing out here today is we got guys all over running and gunning, and when they say they're on, you just don't have time to pack your stuff up. You just got to grab your gear and go. Sometimes walking there is going to get you faster, so we ditched the gang and we're going. Trying to find the fish, man.
Little walleye here.
Ooh, that's a good one.
There's so much diversity in South Dakota. If you bring yourself down here, don't tie yourself to one species. I mean, there's just a little bit of everything down here. You know, hop around, fish different lakes. There's just so many different options out here. And that's kind of what we're trying to show here on this episode is the endless options. And Jarrod has basically, you know, he knows this area really well. So we're hopping around different areas, different options. Diversify yourself. When you come to South Dakota, you'll have a way better time.
It's like, where's Wallow?
basically what we're doing is fishing submerged trees. So we drilled this hole and there's a tree that we can see right there. So we sent the AquaView down and we actually, you know, it works really well to see those fish in amongst the trees and be able to see if we're working them out or if we need to get out a little bit. And it didn't take long for you to connect.
So you're looking over and you say you're seeing fish and I go, yep, here one comes. And you're like, yeah, there's one right here on the screen.
A lot of guys I don't think utilize these cameras. Look at there, there's a couple.
Well, I'm gonna get this one back down and get back down.
I don't think a lot of guys utilize the cameras as much as they probably should. And these AquaViews, especially these small ones, are just throw them in your pocket and utilize them. Have them, even if you don't use them. It just clears day down there too. And they're just stacked in these trees. I'm gonna drill a few holes right behind you.
And you're working with a lot of debris too, so it's really nice to use a camera like this where you're getting a lot of interference with your traditional flasher, or with a camera, you can actually see those fish where you might think it's maybe a tree or some interference, but it's actually fish down there.
And remember, when you're fishing trees like this, you're gonna have a lot of lines, and those are stationary lines. And really, if you understand your graph, you should be able to see those fish moving through there fairly easily. If something pops up that wasn't there 30 seconds ago, more than likely that's a fish. I'm gonna go pop some holes here.
Stick with us for more Fish Addictions TV.
Before the spot, before the hole, before the bait. It starts with a passion, and that passion starts at Runnings. The best gear and supplies from the most trusted brands. When you get the strike, will you be ready? Runnings, your home, farm, and outdoor store.
Fishing. Make your own luck.
Good job, buddy.
Finally! You do not know how hard I have worked for this fish. Unreal. We've been catching just a little bit of everything here in South Dakota. We've gotten crappies, perch, walleye, smallies, a little bit of everything, and I think that's what makes this place so unique compared to anywhere else. You really have that opportunity for quality fish everywhere you go, and we've been kind of jumping from pothole to pothole and then coming back to a bite like this crappie bite. Get this guy back. Was one of those that was an early morning bite and an evening bite. So we came here early morning, got a bunch of crappies, left, went and kind of pursued walleyes and perch and even got into a few smallies. And then now we're back here at this crappie bite. And just as we left them, they're here and they're getting aggressive.
Go, another nice fish. Had to work that one up off the bottom a little bit. Came up, just gave me a little tap. We've had a great time here in South Dakota, and you know, catching fish like this one after another, watching the rest of the guys is what it's really all about. We had a great time out here. Can't wait to come back. I'm really excited for season 4 of Fish Addictions. We got pretty good ice early this year, so it should be a really good season, a long season, be able to get on the ice and travel across the states with the staff. And I can't wait to, check out some old bites and capitalize on some new bites and have a great time chasing those fish across the Midwest.
Quick stop into Runnings. Got done fishing. It gets dark early, so what better way to waste a little time than to come check out the fishing aisle in Runnings and stock up on everything we need.
Crappies in South Dakota? Who'da thunk?
And trying to do interviews and Anthony's over there drilling holes, ruining the sound. I'm done.
No, it's either you get it on the first take or you get it on the 10th take. I mean, that's just how this goes. Because you fumble over your own words and you know exactly what you want to say. It's just spitting them out. When you can see yourself in the camera, it's just terrible.
Well, I don't know where we're going to be next week, so stick with us for more Fish Addictions TV on Sundays, Fox Sports North and Fox Sports Wisconsin at 10:30 a.m. in the morning while you're eating your cereal or Pop-Tarts.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode. Now don't forget, tomorrow we drop the behind the scenes on what happened right here in South Dakota.